Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Myst III Exile. Let's continue. Now, we were wandering around in this final, second to final world, and it turned out that there was just a pathway I hadn't found. This nature island is a lot about exploration, but I really have to wonder, even when Myst III came out, how much of this pathfinding is bad game design and how much of these like hidden paths are intentional. Like, clearly in most games, if you had a sconce on the wall or a lamp on the wall that you pulled and it moved a bookcase, and behind that bookcase was a staircase to a whole new area, that's gameplay. That's very video gamey. That's something we expect. But if you're just like, I didn't think to turn around, or the color palette between this wall and this wall is not diverse enough, or there isn't a thick black inked line to show that there's a pathway, isn't that really just art direction? Isn't that just bad animation? That, of course, would have been limited when this game came out. I was thinking, if you were going to have a hint system, which the Myst series clearly needs, one thing you could easily do is just press a button to highlight the paths, and just a yellow bar saying, hey, you can go this way, would be very helpful. Now, before we start moving down this way, I want to just double check. I don't believe there's anything right now we have to read that's new. We are caught up, but there are like 3 bits of notes that, according to the numbering system, seem right, but maybe the notes are intentionally supposed to be missing. That might be the case. Or, you know, who knows? It may just be I miss things. So let's just go this way and this way. We still don't really know what we're doing. We freed the bird, and that didn't seem like that did anything for us. Unless it did do something for us and we just haven't realized it yet. There's another swinging plant, it looks like, that we can swing on. And I guess maybe this is a way down even further. Is there anything else around here before we move? So just a tree trunk that, I don't know, would this have been underwater at some point? Is that how you would get a tree trunk like that? Or would it be just the wind and maybe cracking forces? So yeah, we're going down deeper. Not our transition animation. If I was a game producer making the Myst series, it's kind of something you would have to put the budget for, but it's really not, and there's no going back up that way. This really isn't a good use of animators' time. In the fact that this game keeps all of its dialogue and story in the form of like cutscenes you don't interact with and books you don't interact with. They're having artists animate transition scenes, which by using modern game making tools, these would either not be bothered to animate at all, or it would be so automated that you would have animators have a lot more time to do a lot more relatable animations of like characters' faces and people talking. Now they went FMV here, so the animator in this game clearly had very little that he needed to do as far as motion animation. But of course, that would be something also that a modern game would change. You would get away from the FMV. FMV is always a interesting little concept, but it actually makes the games, frankly, shorter than they should be and more expensive than they should be. Is this some kind of elevator that's gonna take me up? I don't know. Let's look, see if we can walk this direction. Before, I want to walk on something that might take me out of this area. So we've got something that's probably an elevator. We're now at this baseline swamp area. So maybe we are going to get the whole tree to bloom. I kind of thought we might be a lot closer to being done with this island, but clearly we've got something more to do. Maybe this will be a brief sound puzzle. This is trying to be in the vein of Channelwood, almost as if this is what Channelwood would have been like had the evil brothers not interfered with it and turned everything into their own little private kingdoms. Let's see, can we go that way? Yes, we can. We probably could go back that way too. I really need a map. This is ridiculous. So there's some kind of moss. So maybe we're supposed to move the moss to the plants to possibly feed the plants or possibly feed the moss. One or the other or both. We saw a pitcher plant before trying to eat a bird, so wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. And we've got another one of these. And so we blocked the sun with that plant. Cool. Maybe it doesn't thrive in sunlight. And when we closed up the plants, the insects went towards it. See, this is just a bad layout. You're not even seeing the outcome. So, yeah, I think this time we are just gonna try and move these insects around. Looking around, trying to see if there's other pathways, trying to see if there's any notes that our book thief may have left. Alright, so these are like night loving creatures. Did I come from that direction or do I go this direction? This is where the puzzle is, so let's stick with this for a moment. And here's another plant it looks like we can click on. Let's see what this does. Okay, that just shoots spores up. And in here we have another tunnel. Jeez, where are we going? This feels really small too as far as a tunnel goes. Like, I've climbed up this, I imagine. This is like a giant plant. So this might be the final thing. Look around here. So we got spores. But we're not ready for that point yet. So the spores move the bugs. Okay. Good to know. Still not really seeing any pieces. So I almost wonder if this is a reset spot and the insects will come back to that location if I open up that plant. Meanwhile, where did they go? Or did they just fly off into the forest to never be seen again? You're really not getting what would be a modern basic feedback. No musical cue. No, that's not right. No, that this was a mistake. Type statements or anything. This is one of the reasons why I think maybe point-and-click adventure games have lasted and succeeded a lot more than the experiences like this. Although there are still definitely walking simulators out there and adventure games with puzzles out there, there's not a lot that's like Myst. Too much gets changed, too much gets modernized, too much of the Myst series, which was amazing for its time, is now considered like bad ideas. Whereas if this was a point and click adventure game, and I'm thinking a la like the Monkey Island series or the Indiana Jones LucasArts series, we could easily have a character just going, no, that's not right, that was a mistake, I shouldn't have done that, and just have a character verbalize what's going on so that you have that kind of feedback. What's funny is I've lost my path again. How did we get down here? Yeah, seriously, what did I do to reach this point? I know at a certain point we fell down, we flung ourselves downward, but I thought that we came through like a cave in the wall, and yet now I don't see anything like that. Well, it doesn't seem like that matters anymore either. Yeah, the insects, I guess we did the right thing. Okay. This must have been where we went. So which way do you think we came? This way? This way. Let's go over here. I see little flickers. Barely a pixel wide flickers there. So Where is this taking me? Around to the right direction? Man, there's just too much of this, and I bet if you tried to map this out, you'd find that this whole pathway is pretty much just a lie. That there's really no way this much distance could be covered compared to how small the island was in the higher parts. We're dancing around this thing. I don't really see any spores or anything. So how would I expose this to light or in any other way make it undesirable? And again, you have to ask yourself, how far is too far? I don't know how a... Oh, it's one of these. I don't know how flying insects, if they don't like the light, would survive on a island where there's nothing else but light. Right. So that's what we needed to do. Integrating concepts that we've done before. I think we started somewhere around here. Yeah, there's kind of no telling where the path originally started us on. Right. So that got the insects to fly kind of there. Which kind of does what? Where was that plant that looked like the elevator? Yeah, and this definitely is that old feeling of Myst where it's just like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no clue if I'm going in the right way or the wrong way or what is happening. Let's see what this does. If this is an elevator, it's probably just going to lift us back up. Interesting. I don't know how that just lifted us up. It's getting pretty unrealistic. It's so magical when you get into this level. Alright. So that brings us back up. So we kind of know that everything down there is part of that puzzle, and the transitions here are trying to at least give us the indication that, yeah, if you're going up, you're leaving the zone of the puzzle. This is probably a great example of where verticality does not work well in video games, but also winding paths generally don't work well in video games. Alright, so let's go. You gotta find that fork in the road. There it is. And that. I don't particularly understand. Apparently, one of these plants opens up when it has sun on it, and one of these plants opens up when it has, well, did open up, but now no longer opens up at all. It's just in this locked position. Unless there's something more to this. Yeah, it seems like that should have done something, but it didn't. Let's just go here. We can't go down that way. We'll follow the path through this blue tree trunk up here. I do see some flying insects over here, which makes me think that maybe this is right. So maybe if I pull this, this will bring the insects this direction. Why did I bring in the bird? I guess maybe I needed to move the insects away from the plant so then I could call in the bird so the bird would pick me up. This is kind of what I suspected might happen, is the bird would pick us up and fly somewhere. And I think we're done with the island at this point. Unless he's transitioning me to something else. He brought me to his nest. So I had to free the bird. I had to see the bird when I first landed on the island. I had to free the bird. And now I don't know if this bird would peck me to death or what, but I think we're gonna have to give it a little faith and just walk forward. Oh, we just slide down. And there's our shape. Now, it would be pretty impossible, as best as I can see it, for these three shapes to somehow merge together and overlap. If they were going to do that, that's something that I think the scanner itself would have to show us. Okay, well, we've solved this island, and I can kind of understand why I didn't remember doing this island, because there's not any puzzles here that I particularly like. They're kind of all over the place. They're too naturey. This is the thing I would take out if I was to do a remake of Myst. And Abduction kind of does that. Like, you really don't run into anything that is magical plants that move you around and act as elevators, act as stand-ins. If you are going to do a nature thing, instead of having a spiral staircase that moves you to transition up and down, why not just have vines and a ladder? At least that would be more reasonable and recognizable. I don't think there's actually anything else I can do here. We're getting that cool Arabian music again. But once we transition, I bet it cuts out. The other thing is, yeah, we don't have any more notes. So I kind of feel like I might have missed some of our book thief's journals in one of the previous islands, but it's, I don't think, worth it to transition back to the island. We could probably get there, run around the island perfectly fine in any of these places, and then exit perfectly fine, but it's not worth it. We have more things to do. Let's get to the final island, or at least get kind of close to it. We'll probably have, see, and I bet if we try to scan one of these, it probably would just reject it. Look down how it makes a 3D visualization of the shape down here. So yeah, it just rejects the ones it's already done. And that's all we needed to reach the book.
You've done well, my sons, but there's still one task ahead of you. The linking book you see here connects to an age called Narayan. It's a very delicate age, where civilization has emerged in response to the world's imbalances. It's also the first inhabited age I'm sending you to alone. But don't be afraid. The knowledge you've acquired here will show you the way in. Use it and see all that Narayan has to offer.
And see, he didn't even record over that line of dialogue. So, yeah, at any point, it feels like you could have stood on this and just reached over and touched the book. There was no dome of glass or anything on top of it. What I would have thought would have been a smarter move is to not have the flower open up until the third move, and so you could see it but you can't touch it. Or, you know, just not have anything happen that actually unlocks the book until, or shows the book. I guess you kind of want to show it so you know where you're going, but it is an interesting looking thing that strains credibility. Like, honestly, it feels like you could probably have just jumped and grabbed onto this, and then all you have to do on any of these linking books is open the book and touch it, and then you're magically transported to somewhere safe. But that is kind of a concept that never gets really played out, except for maybe in the Uru series, in like one or two places where you are kind of trapped in a dangerous situation and you escape. So, I guess we just have enough time to get to Narayan, and we will then and run into the book thief, I assume. See, and this book feels like maybe a bit of the page has been cut, which is this a trapped book? Probably not, because I doubt our book thief would be able to make that. Again, there's not even a mechanical thing holding it locked in place. And if you were doing a point and click adventure game, maybe you would have it where you could walk up to it but say the book is locked until I get the third piece, and that way people get the simple answers for the people that need those simple answers to explain things. So we're getting our fly around. And I definitely need to save, because like the first game, I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 or 3 different endings in this game. And I want to get the canonical good ending. I'm not gonna screw around and intentionally get the bad ending. Interesting that the subtitle here is telling me what I'm looking at. That's actually very helpful. I wonder if subtitles were turned off if that was the case. So there's all these symbols that we have to pick from that we'll have to use later on. And we need to do some walking around and looking at things. But for the moment, it's been another 30 minutes. There is a chance, not a big chance, that next recording we finish the game. I think we've still got probably an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours of gameplay. A lot of it is really going to boil down to how well I remember the solution to this final puzzle. We're making save slot 16, which means we've been playing for 8 hours. That puts us about 2 hours short of my estimate of 10 hours. So either I'm breezing through this game, which I probably am. This feels like it took a lot less effort, a lot less wandering, a lot less looking around and trying to figure out what to do than Riven did, for example. I think that would have been a better move, quite frankly, though. If you're ever going to make an argument for annualized releases, I think the Myst series probably would have been great for that, where on Myst Island there was only 2 or 3 simple islands like this for the first game, and then the next year there's a whole nother collection of books that you go through to a whole nother collection of worlds, and then you could just continuously have Atris recreating his books that were burnt and adding more DLC to it. I think that was kind of their idea with the MMO Uru too, is that they would add more content and add more content. They just ran out of funding and were not equipped to make an MMO in the first place. I'm surprised they got as far as they did. And by the time it came out, nobody was really interested in it. That was a big problem. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off of my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.